I might lose my farm because of the government.
Own the libs! Own the libs! There's so much owning of the libs going on right here.
Our EQIP program, which is cost sharing on fences, waters, a well, and some seedings, was funded by the Inflation Reduction Act.
And who signed the Inflation Reduction Act into law? Was it Joe Biden? Sir, that is socialism, and you are benefiting off of it. Did you post this a few months ago in October?
I'll tell you what I love. I love cows. But if we go with Kamala, you won't have any cows anymore because you're not.
A few moments later.
Our farm payment money, if we don't have that money, we will lose this farm. And the only way that I can think to get around it is we sell some cows.
I'm done.
I need your help to save my farm and many other farms.
Sir, we already tried to help you save your farm. The saving of the farms happened a few months ago on November 5th. Us on the left, or what is it that you call us, libtards? Us libtards showed up on November 5th and voted so that you could keep benefiting off the Inflation Reduction Act that would have saved your farm. You, Kyle, also showed up on November 5th and voted to preserve something that wasn't your farm. What did you vote to preserve, Kyle? You voted to preserve your white tea supremacy instead of saving your farm. Are you feeling superior right now, Kyle? I want you to get exactly what you voted for, Kyle, and I want you to feel the powerful consequences of your vote.
It's all gone. Everything is gone.
So like this fruit is not going to be able to be harvested because it's too far gone.
That's because on day one of the harvest, about half of their 120-person workforce wasn't there.
Our harvest workforce is primarily immigrants. I would say the majority are from Mexico originally. They are skilled workers who come up every single year. A lot of people have a lot of fear based on their ethnicity, which is an unfortunate thing.
Chandler says the fear over ICE raids isn't just present at his farm, but across many farms like his. For him, it means an unprecedented loss.
So we are in a situation where we're going to have to leave probably 300 to 400 tons of fruit on the tree. It's going to be devastating.
He and his wife are even looking for second jobs to make up for the loss. But on top of those fears, Chandler's wife is from Mexico, and the knowledge that people who look like her and his children don't feel welcome hits close to home.
We've got regular people out here who are helping us out. They're not criminals, they're not bad people. They're just like you and I. They're just trying to make a living. They're, taking care of their families, and for them to be in this country and in fear, that doesn't feel very good.
This is the consequences when we chose the wrong direction. Oh my God. Yes. It is what it is. Make America great. Yeah, low prices.
So by now we've all heard that Nebraska is going to go bankrupt in about 2 months, 60 days, give or take. And Nebraska was a state that voted overwhelmingly for that guy. And now they're all crying and screaming because their workforce is gone. All the immigrants that were there doing whatever they did for them, gone. All these people jumping on TikTok, all over social media, complaining about how they're about to lose their farms because they don't have anybody to work the farms. My thing is, like, when the man told you he was going to deport the immigrants and y'all still voted for him, did you think he was joking? Because his hatred for immigrants and people of color and anybody who's not a wealthy white man was the first clue that the rest of us got that he was going to do what the hell he said he was going to do. Let's be real about it. He tried it and got blocked in 2016 Because at that time, there were people in places in the administration that prevented him from doing that. Well, now he done got rid of all those people who would have stopped him from doing this craziness. So all that's left are the people like them, like y'all, who voted for this, who agree with this shit. I'm having a hard time understanding why we should care. Why those of us who didn't around but are also finding out, why are we supposed to care? Why are we supposed to be like, oh, you are sorry and you regret your vote because you're about to lose your family farm and God knows what else? We all got drama that we got to deal with and live through. There are a lot of people worried every day about losing their jobs. People who have jobs that are 100% federally funded, who are worried every day that they get up if that's going to be the day that they go to work and they tell them, oh, we're done, you don't need to come back. So why should we care about you when we all got to be out here worried about our own self? So all I'm saying is the run and find out is real for all of us. But for those of y'all that voted for this shit, y'all need to eat it. I wanted to say something else, but I don't know if children might see this video. But you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I don't think we give a shit. You know, concepts of thoughts, because y'all damn sure don't deserve our prayers. Good night.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel once again. Now, we all know a lot of things it is happening in America, especially to the Nebraska's farmer, to the Texas farmer. Majority of the farmers, they are going bankrupt, and also majority of them, they are losing workers overnight. So in today's video, we are going to see the local MAGA farmers. They are in tears as they blame tariffs, immigration, crackdown for businesses losses. So the local MAGA farmers, they are now blaming the tariffs, and also they are blaming the immigration, how the ICE, they are deporting their workers from the farms. And also because of that, majority of them, they are losing businesses, and also majority of them, they are going bankrupt. So kindly guys, I want you to watch this video till the end, then I'll be back with more comment. Remember, this video, it is only for educational purposes. We are here to learn. And also kindly remember to give a video a thumbs up. All credits goes to the original creator of the video. I'm your host, Dash Lifestyle.
I saw the news out of Nebraska today. Apparently our entire state is going to go bankrupt in 2 quarters. Me and my husband owned a cattle ranch here, and I can confirm that all of the cattle ranchers here overwhelmingly voted for Trump. We support him. We voted for him. Something like 70% of our entire workforce is undocumented immigrants, and they straight up are not showing up for work anymore. They have all either fled the country, fled the state. They don't want to get raided while at work, so they have just moved on to work somewhere else. And straight up, we are gonna go bankrupt now. We are gonna go bankrupt, and yeah, we voted. We knew that the immigrants would get deported, and he was coming after immigrants. Yet we still voted for it. Overwhelmingly voted for our own demise. I was talking to my husband last night, and I have to admit that it seems a bit foolish now when you think about it like that we voted for something that is now putting us directly out of business.
I don't even know where to start with this update, because I've known about it since February. Personally, I've felt the attacks on my program since February. But it's 2 p.m., about 2:15 my time here in South Texas on Saturday. And at 9:30 this morning, I got a text from RAFI, this Rural Advancement Foundation International, pretty much saying I needed to get in and make copies of all my USDA documents for the programs that I am a part of, because DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, is in there now, and there has been an article leaked that they're in there messing with USDA documents. If you guys follow them, this is RAFI. RAFI is a nonprofit that helps socially disadvantaged groups, rural socially disadvantaged groups. So me, I am both a veteran and I'm a female farmer. All my programs in the USDA are because my husband is Hispanic, I'm female, and we're both disabled veterans. So this impacts everything. National Public Radio recently reported that DOJ staff now have access not only to read but also edit farmer data in the USDA systems. I'm going to open the article right now and I'm going to read the article. This means that government staff that are unfamiliar with these systems could unintentionally or without full understanding alter or erase important information or sensitive documents. Last week, USDA released the final rule without public notice or comment, stating that it will no longer employ race and based socially disadvantaged designation or provide increased benefits. What this means, the programs that I was in are not there anymore. Oh my God, I just promised myself I wouldn't get emotional, but the money I was waiting, the money that I was waiting on to help me get caught up was because I was a female veteran in this USDA program. I was targeted because I was a beginner farmer, limited resource, and a veteran. I applied for these programs because no other traditional routes were going to allow me to farm. No banks were going to allow me to farm. So I went for this program with the USDA because it was finally something that targeted me. And I guess to be erased, I don't know what this all means. I just know my fight got a whole lot harder to keep something I really, really, really believe in. I have done everything I could. On Monday, I'm going in, or I'm calling to get copies of all my files. I have actually lost access to view my files on the USDA online links. Like, I don't see any of my files anymore. So I don't know what that means. So Monday, I'm going to ask for all paper copies. Sorry, this is just a lot. I came on here because I'm just so desperate for just everybody to know this is going on. There's people already that have lost their farms. There's people that are in the same shoes as I am. They might even be worse off. I don't know. I have just started this journey with the USDA. I only have 2 loans with them. I had an assistance program that was approved for in funding that was supposed to come to help me get caught back up. That's the money I've been waiting on, and it hasn't came. It's frozen, and this message this morning from Rafi is that's not gonna come now because I'm a female veteran and my husband is Hispanic. I did not vote for this. I didn't vote for this. The American dream is gone. It's gone. It's all gone. When farmers can't even farm, what's the fucking point of being in this fucking country right now?
Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about what's going on with the tariffs and what's going on with the state of Nebraska, which I am from. Okay, I'm noticing a trend right now of a lot of things. When people talk about Nebraska, some people are saying that their stuff is getting removed, it's getting banned, it's whatever. Okay, but I want to talk about something. First thing I want to talk about is, yeah, Nebraska is going to go bankrupt in about 6 months. Nebraska, the state that relies on their agriculture to sustain the way of living. Okay? Nebraska. There's a lot of farmland in Nebraska, and Nebraska has been notoriously Republican for quite a long time. There's only subsets of cities that ever really vote Democratic or anything like that, like in Omaha, and so forth. But the Nebraska, the place that relies on their agriculture for any type of profit, is going bankrupt. One of our senators, Pete Ricketts, is kissing boots right now to the Trump administration as we are heading towards bankruptcy in about 6 months. I'm sure you have heard people talk about it, but I want to make it clear that right now, even though my state is on the decline and we have 6 months before we file bankruptcy, I don't want to hear a single one of y'all getting on this app right now trying to monetize off you regretting your vote. I don't want to hear it, because your racism. One, you, somebody who owns farmland, who relies on migrant workers to do all of these jobs, because you don't want to hire an American because, as you stated multiple times, that we're lazy, slow, and we want too much money. The same people who rely on migrant workers turned around and voted against their best interests, and now you have ICE doing sweeps and shit over here on a regular. And you're running around complaining. Now you're going to town halls. You're screaming. You're yelling. You're crying. You're fussing. For what? For something that you did? This is not the F around and find out anymore. Okay? What happens every time when it comes to Republicans is y'all constantly vote against your best interests and then want people who have socialist ideals and mindsets to come in and fix it so you can benefit, and then turn around and complain.
So all those female farmers that were so excited for Trump winning, and now they're making posts about losing all of their USDA grants because they are DEI, they're female. I'm in a lot of groups that are like female flower farmers, women flower farmers, etc., etc. And when Trump won, there were so many. I would say the majority of the people in these groups were so excited about this motherfucker's win, right? They were like so stoked. They're like, finally, they're going to get our country back, blah, 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 blah. And of course, they're the rest of us in these groups, and we're like, you realize this is going to negatively affect rural communities, right? And we're seeing it happen in real time. We're seeing these same farmers lose their grants. We're seeing less programs available. And in rural communities specifically, we're seeing hospitals close. So places where we're growing our food, our flowers, our hospitals are being closed. And these same women that were all like, I'm so excited, make America great again, are now posting stuff like, I can't find any seasonal help. And it's completely f***ed up that in this country that seasonal, agricultural help is reliant on undocumented workers and being paid less. But that's also the reality of the world that we live in. And none of the rural people here who live out here, who are citizens, want to do that work. Nor are they good at it, I'm going to be honest. People really don't start caring until it directly affects them. I mean, because we live in such an individualist culture and country that, of course, these people wouldn't have cared until it directly affects them and their bottom line. I'm not on a mega flower farm. My operation can be handled by 1 to 2 for the most part. It's very, very, very small. I'm not in the same league as a lot of these women. But, yeah, I think they're having a wake-up call right now.
In an area of West Virginia that went 70% to Donald Trump, small farmers are starting to struggle due to federal cuts. Now, we have Trey Yates, a declared independent who did not vote for Trump, who owns the Greenbrier Dairy Churning. He lost a contract with the local federally funded food bank for his butter. We have an orchard owner, Natasha Zoe, who is waiting for reimbursement on a federal grant where she built a building and a small cannery to help make syrups and juices in the local area so other farmers can sell these products. And while these two say they didn't vote for Trump, they come from an area where everybody around them fully supports Donald Trump and his policies, but are now being hurt. See, whether it's butter that goes to food banks and schools, or it's syrups and juices from a local orchard. This is money that's not going into the local communities. It's money that's not being spent. Now, Natasha and Trey possibly will lose their businesses and lose their farms, and they'll lose their livelihood because of these cuts. West Virginia is 8th on the list of states that relies heavily on federal funding, behind Louisiana, Alaska, Arizona, South Dakota, Wyoming, Missouri, and Kentucky. Rounding out the top 10 are Mississippi and New Hampshire, and 8 of those 10 states went heavily in favor of Donald Trump, and all 10 of those states are starting to suffer due to Doge and the Trump administration cutting millions and billions of dollars in federal funding that otherwise would have went to these states. You have to remember, the federal government is the driver of economic policy and money into the local and state governments where it is distributed and spent. And that money's not going out, which means those economies and those locally owned small businesses and small farms, orchards, what have you, are all going to crash. Now, these two individuals say they didn't vote for Trump, but everybody around them did. And it's another example of Trump country is going to pay the hardest prices for Trump policies.
With tariff talks top of mind, South Florida farmers say they're in trouble. Crops are rotting on the vine, and they're blaming the ongoing trade wars and immigration changes.
What does this mean for the future of our food? The Night Team's Heather Walker has a look at Tonight 7 Investigates.
Perfectly good tomatoes are being plowed over instead of picked. It's a sad scene happening in South Florida.
You can't even afford to pick them right now between the cost of the labor and the inputs that go in. It's more cost effective for the farmers to just plow them right now.
Heather Moling understands the struggles that farmers are facing right now. She's part of the family that runs the Homestead produce stand. Robert is here.
These are local tomatoes here.
She says farmers used to get $16 for a box of tomatoes. It's now down to $3 or $4.
Just a horrible price. Some of that has been from what Mexico is bringing into the country, and some of that has been just with the threat of the tariffs.
Farmers say President Trump's tariffs and the threat of tariffs have caused thousands of acres of tomatoes to go to waste because the cost to pack and pick them is more than what tomatoes are selling for this year.
It costs you, close to, probably over $10 a box, close to $11 a box to break even. So if you're selling tomatoes for $3 and $4 and $5, you can just figure out pretty quickly what the losses are.
Tony Damari with Damari Homestead says his company has experienced huge losses. He won't disclose how much, but says South Florida farmers are hurting.
The Mexican industry exported, in some cases, double and triple their daily volumes as to beat being subject to the 25% tariff in February and March and the 10% tariff in April. That just devastated our markets in the U.S.
Those tariffs never went into effect, but the damage was done. When Mexico flooded the market with cheap tomatoes, local farmers couldn't compete and didn't even bother picking their fields. Now the U.S. government has plans to put an anti-dumping duty on fresh Mexican tomatoes starting in July to try and prevent that from happening again. And it's not just tomatoes from Mexico that's hurting our farmers. South Florida sends a lot of different produce to Canada, which put a 25% tariff on our crops.
Another watermelon grower in the state had called me about concern and question on the tariff. His customers in Canada, which Canada for the Florida watermelon growers in the springtime is a big market, had told him that they, because of the tariff and the added cost to Florida watermelons, they were in fact going to bypass sourcing Florida watermelons for this spring as long as the 25% tariff was in place. In fact, they were going to source their watermelon needs from Mexico.
Immigration changes are also taking a toll. Many pickers are afraid to go to work.
Many workers have left. Others are leaving now.
This man agreed to talk to us if we agreed to hide his identity. He's worried about being deported.
A lot of people are really afraid, and sometimes they come, sometimes they don't come, and the harvest is lost because it cannot be harvested. So that's why so much produce is lost.
What's the feeling from farmers right now? Like, how are you feeling?
Not very good, to be honest with you.
And with the current policies on tariffs and immigration, Florida farmers are not planting a secure future.
Glen Valley Foods in Nebraska is likely going to be shut down unless they can rebuild quickly. See, immigration officials raided the meatpacking plant, and more than 70% of the workforce has either been detained or stopped showing up for work due to the fear of additional immigration raids. Even their HR manager has stopped showing up. Now, you'd say, it's Nebraska. It's a deep red portion of Nebraska. But Gary Rower, who is the owner of the meat processing facility, said he voted for a Democrat for the first time in his life because he could not stand behind Republican treatment of migrants. When 95% of his workforce are migrants, he could not allow what they were pushing to be on his conscience that he voted for it. He tries to do what's right. He verifies all of his employees through E-Verify, and when they don't pass, he helps those migrants on a road to gain the ability to pass E-Verify. And still, his facility was raided. He has more than 50 workers being detained right now by immigration officials, even though they're legally allowed to be here. And why was he raided? A report that he was employing illegal immigrants by the local community, and solely upon the color of the skin of the individuals that he chooses to employ, because people who look like me refuse to work there because that job is beneath them. Even when he pays $20 an hour for someone with no experience and upwards of $40 an hour for people with experience. It's not a great paying job to start, but it's an okay paying job in the end.
It's Joe from Georgia. So this is news out of Texas. But folks, these are alarm bells ringing for the entire United States. And our government is not listening. Overnight, multiple farms in the state of Texas completely shut down. And the reason for this shutdown was because they have lost almost 100% of their workforce. Now, we know this is the result of the immigration raids and stricter enforcement, but the ripple effect is going to be felt all the way across this country. Now, you've got crops that are rotting in the fields. You have livestock that is not being attended to at all. And that takes a lot of personnel. And we're talking, so now we're getting every area of food to include meat. And the communities that surround these farms, those businesses and those people who depend on the income from these farms, it's creating disasters for small communities in Texas. Now, this is not stopping at Texas farms. This is going to end up all the way across America, especially in the breadbasket, the middle of the nation, because they have tons of immigrant help. But folks, the alarm bells are ringing. Your food on your plate is being affected. So you got to think about it. It won't be soon until either prices go ridiculously high or you just won't have any food to buy.
There's about 200 bales right here.
In the Harquahala Valley,
alfalfa has taken over the majority of our crops here for cattle feed, not only here locally, but in California and all over the world.
Alfalfa hay is big business, with Arizona farms exporting over $100 million of alfalfa overseas a year.
Like I said, normally this warehouse is completely full of hay.
Shannon Schultz is an alfalfa farmer and exporter. China made up about half of Arizona's exports. Now Schultz says Chinese farms are buying from other countries instead.
With the current tariffs in place, which is a total of about 66% of retaliatory tariffs by China to us, it puts our product out of the marketplace.
Still, Schultz says he supports the goals behind tariffs.
I do support President Trump.
But the clock is ticking.
It could break us. I mean, it could break a lot of farmers. We got to have some answers here fairly quickly.
When you look at, here in Iowa, you have corn, soybeans, you have hogs and pork that is exported overseas. And from the first Trump administration, the trade war, there were tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in losses for most of the farmers across here, the Midwest. And there is concern about what the end game is for President Trump in this trade war and what losses they could incur this go around, not just financially, but also the export markets overseas that they rely on to sell the goods they produce. Take a listen to some of our conversations. How much do all of the discussions around tariffs impact your future as you're looking out at planning?
Well, it causes a lot of uncertainty because we don't know what to expect from the marketplace. We don't know if the export markets that we export our grain or our ethanol or our pork to, what they're going to be like after this is all said and done.
What is your message to the Trump administration?
Just stay out of it. I mean, if they would just leave it alone and let the free market do its job, everything would be okay.
In response to the Trump administration's steel and aluminum tariffs last month, Canada and China already placed retaliatory tariffs on the likes of pork and corn. But we're expecting, because Canadian officials, for example, have already said they intend to do so, greater retaliatory tariffs on tens of billions of dollars worth of goods, from wine, bourbon, lobsters, jeans, pretty much anything you can think of being produced here in the United States, whether it's manufacturing or whether it's through the agricultural industry. We are expecting retaliatory tariffs because of the decisions and the announcement made at the White House.
Hey everybody, it's Will. I wanted to let you know that I appeared on News Nation this morning to talk about the overwhelming increase in farmer bankruptcies this year in the United States of America. Already this year, since President Trump took office, we've had more farmer bankruptcies under Section 12 than we had in the entire year in 2024. This is being caused by a lot of the policies that President Trump passed, and there's no light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to these bankruptcies. Now, a lot of you may not know that Chapter 12 bankruptcy was actually originally created for farmers and fishermen in order for them to reorganize debt when they ran into difficult financial times. That's happening a lot lately due to very specific policies on the part of the president. First, you have the tariffs. The tariffs have been on again and off again for quite some time. I just read this morning, and it blew my mind, that there have been over 132 different iterations of the Trump tariff policy that's been put out there to the American public and the rest of the world since his inception when he first came into office. Think about that. 130 plus versions of the tariff plan for this country. You ask yourself the question, how can any other country or how can any commodity organization in the United States of America plan around that lack of planning? It's very, very difficult to do. It's caused other countries to throw tariffs onto the United States of America, which have cost us overseas markets, not only in row crops, but also in beef. And the problem is getting worse and worse. The second issue that we face in row cropping is that the break-even price right now for a commodity like corn is around $4 a bushel. And that price of corn has been dipping down below and a little bit above that per bushel price needed to break even for quite some time now. As a matter of fact, just a few weeks ago, the price of corn was somewhere around $3.80 a bushel, which was below break even. Right now, it's anywhere from $4.05 to $4.25, depending on how far you look out to December. But the bottom line is this: there aren't going to be massive profits on row crops this year due to the president's tariff policies, leading to a reduction in the amount of markets out there for commodities like corn, soybeans, etc. And this again is adding pressures to farmers, especially row crop farmers, that depend on credit in order to do their farming every year. The other issue driving up cost is the increased energy cost in this country. Now, if you haven't done so, I'm going to encourage you to go over to the page of my good friend, Mr. Global, and look at some of his latest work on energy costs and energy prices. He's made a prediction which looks like it's going to become true that's really frightening. And that is, in the very near future, energy prices, your utility bill that you pay at your home or on your farm, could be greater than the cost of your mortgage. And that's really, really a frightening scenario for farmers across the country. As these costs increase and as markets disappear and our ability to sell our commodities around the world decrease, it's setting up a perfect storm for bankruptcies in this country. The final thing I want to tell you is that it's no different when a farmer files for Chapter 12 reorganization than it is if a small business does it or an individual does it. The bottom line is a farmer comes out of that bankruptcy with destroyed or credit that's been diminished quite a bit. And in the farming industry, just like with many small businesses and larger businesses, where you need credit to operate, to buy the inputs that you need to produce the commodities that you're later going to sell, the difference between good credit and bad credit can mean several points in interest rates and the increased amount of money that you've got to put down at the beginning or the amount you have to collateralize in order to get a loan. This could mean you have to put more and more acreage up or more and more equipment up just to get the operating capital that you need to put crops in the ground or to put cattle in the field. So this is a really dark cloud that's building over agriculture right now as a direct result of of President Trump's agricultural policies. The other thing I want to tell you, and we can't forget this because I know that a lot of you who follow me and who are going to see this video are mental health advocates as well. Anytime we see a significant increase in farmer bankruptcies like we're seeing right now, we also see a significant increase in farmer unalivings. As the grandson of someone who went down that path, I can tell you that it impacts families for years and years to come. Anyway, that's the breakdown. That's what I shared on News Nation today. I hope you'll go check out the clip. And if you want to change policy in America, get better rural policy, better policy for agriculture, education, and healthcare, join us here on the Back 40 to fight the good fight. Go to our website, the Back 40 Official, all spelled out.com. Join to get our newsletter and join to get updated information. We're going to events all over the country. We've been to Missouri. We've been to Texas. We've been to Illinois. We've been to Kansas. We've been to Oklahoma. We've been to Arkansas, and we've been to Iowa. And we've got requests from all over the country. We're going to be up near St. Louis just later this week on Saturday. We're going to be in Perry, Oklahoma, and speaking to students at Oklahoma State University in August. It's really a great place to be if you want to impact change in rural America. And I'm asking you today to take that leap of faith and step out there and join. Have a great day, everybody.
Well, thanks to the big orange gremlin looking motherfucker, multiple farms in Texas just shut down overnight. Why? Because ICE raids made nearly 100% of the workforce completely vanish. People ran, got detained, or flat out got scared to death and never came back. Dairy farms are in panic mode right now. Cows got to be milked every 8 hours. And guess what? Nobody's showing up to milk these folks. This isn't some Texas problem either. This is happening across the entire nation. ICE isn't just out here enforcing some bullshit laws. They are actively crippling our food systems with fear and chaos. You want to talk about consequences? This ain't just about politics anymore, y'all. It's about what's on your table, what's in your fridge, or what's about to be missing from your fucking store. These Nimrods aren't saving America. They're starving it.
So guys, I hope you have watched and you have seen how the local MAGA farmers, they are in tears because they are losing businesses, and also majority of them, they are going bankrupt. And also we have seen their workers, they are not showing up in the farm simply because of how ICE it is raiding in the farms, how ICE they are deporting people. So because of how ICE they are deporting immigrant people, it has made the local farmers to go a lot of losses. And this is all because of these people. They made a bad choice. These people, they voted against they voted against their own interest, and whatever right now they are going through, it is exactly what they voted for. So I don't know why these people right now they are in tears, because I remember black people, they want them. Kamala Harris told them what it is coming, but these people, they didn't want to listen. These people, they knew that all these tariffs, all these policy with Donald Trump policy will not affect them, but will affect the black people and immigrant people, so they will not be affected. So they went ahead and vote. But right now, it is like God is punishing them for wanting to punish other. So this is what right now they are getting. And also, guys, you can can share also your thoughts on the comment section. Tell me, what do you feel about seeing right now the local farmers? They are now in tears. We have seen how the Nebraska's farmer, Texas farmer, Florida farmers, they have been coming out crying, and right now it has gone in the rural. Right now we are seeing the local farmers, they are also in tears. They are losing, they're going bankrupt. So I want to read some of the comment here and tell you exactly what are others, what are the black people that have come out and share their thoughts on the comment section. And also, guys, remember, you can also share your thoughts on the comment section. Tell me, what do you feel about our topic today? So this one is saying that I didn't vote for this. If you voted for Trump, you sure did. So this one is telling them that I didn't vote for this, but these people right now, whatever they are going through, it is what exactly they voted for Trump. So who benefit if you lose your farm? Billionaires, you are welcome. So this one now are saying all this, what it is happening, it is the plans of the billionaires. So right now the billionaires, they want farmers to lose their farms, to sell their land so that they can buy the land, so that they can do their businesses in the land. So this is, and I've been telling you that right now the people who are in government, they are billionaires. They don't care about the life of the poor people. Some of the things that they are doing, it is just to favor them and to see farmers and people losing, going bankrupt so that they can buy the land. So that it is what exactly what the billionaires, they are doing in America. So now this one is saying that when someone says I didn't vote for this, I hear I vote for Trump, but I thought he was going to hurt other people, not me. Have fun, MAGA. You are winning just started. So this one is saying that the MAGA people right now, they are coming out and say they didn't voted for this, but these people, they went ahead and vote for Donald Trump. So right now they are crying, saying I didn't vote for this, and they voted for Trump. So these people, they wanted Donald Trump to go according to how these people they want, but they don't want Donald Trump to do to continue with doing with what he promised, because right now what Donald Trump is doing is doing exactly what he promised to do. So this one is saying here, let me read this comment. Every person who have told me that they only vote on one issue for Trump, I am quick to tell them that every issue being raised, they vote for them as well. You can pick and choose to try and minimize their responsibility for this mess. None of this will have happened with Harris, none of it. So this one now is reminding the MAGA people, they had a choice to choose Kamala Harris, because Donald Trump, he was coming out openly saying what he is going to do, and these people, they saw, they heard, and Kamala Harris tried to warn them. The black people tried to warn them, but they didn't. So these people, they should not crying right now, because these people, they voted so that black people can be punished. These people, they voted so that black people can be deported back to their country, like the immigrant people can be deported back to their country. So these people, they wanted to make America white again, but not to make America great again. So this one is saying they need to start all these farmers' stories with who did you vote for? Yeah, no empathy for farmers that voted for Trump. Yeah, so this one is saying that no empathies for the farmers that that voted for Trump. Yeah, majority of farmers right now, they're coming out crying, and even they went ahead and tried to tell the nurses to go and pick the crops in the farm. You can imagine how these people, they are desperate right now, to a point whereby they are going and asking the nurses to go and help them to pick crops in their farms. So majority of the black people, that have been telling them that you guys, you farmers, you are the ones who voted for deportation to happen. So you need to bring your families to come and pick the crops. You need to bring your families, the MAGA supporters, to come and help you in the farms, but not the black people. So these people, they thought that black people, they don't have jobs. The black people will they will come quickly in the farms to replace the immigrant, but the black people, they are now telling them that we have good jobs. There's no need of us coming to in the farms. You guys call your families, call your MAGA people to help you. Don't worry, Trump and his rich buddies will take those farms off your hand. Rock bottom price, of course. So this one is saying that Donald Trump with his billionaires people will come and take over the farms. So this is what these people, they really want. So this one is saying that I'm so tired of hearing Trump voters whining. I didn't vote for this. Yes, they vote for this. They just vote for it to happen to somebody else. Yeah, so these people, they are saying that they didn't vote for this, but they voted so that this, what it is happening to them right now, it can happen to them, somebody else. But right now I'm so happy to see the black farmers, they are not really crying, because these people, they prepared. So right now these people, the farmers, the white farmers, they are the ones who are really crying loudly, because they voted so that the black farmers can be punished, but it is coming to them. So these people, they need just to relax and also feel what black people, they have been feeling for years. Welcome to What You Vote For. So this one is saying that Canadian here, for those who say to us to stay home, Canadians aren't welcome in the US. That's fine. That means we aren't buying much of your product. Either are you happy now? So this one is saying that Canadian here, for those who say to us to stay home, Canadians aren't welcome in the US. United States. That's fine. That means we aren't buying much of your product. So this one is saying that the Canadians, they are not being allowed to go in the United States. That is fine. So also Canadians, they will not going to buy the United States product. So it is a tit for tat. Yeah, so this is what happens when you vote for a TV instead of a statesman. Racism is expensive. So let me just read another one here. Vans want those small farms for this billionaire company. So now the trade deficit is going to be higher, so that means more tariffs. This is a genius at work, ladies and gentlemen. MAGAs, why aren't you out there taking your jobs back? Farmerize you. So this one is saying that the MAGA people, they voted so that they thought that people that are taking their jobs. So right now the migrant people, they have left those jobs. So it is now the right time for the MAGA farmers to take that jobs, to bring their family and work in the farms. So happy these people are in the finding out phase of their hate and stupidity. So the rotting crops aren't the biggest problem. Is other countries stepping in to take as quotas that ship internationally, as soybeans move to Brazil, wheat and grains to Canada. These are long-term contracts that won't be won back easily. They are taking our jobs. Whip, you can have back now. So these are some of the comments, guys. So kindly, guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Thank you so much. Remember to give a video a thumbs up, and also you can share your thoughts on the comment section. Tell me, what do you feel about our topic of today? See you guys